My stepmom took my sister's hard-earned money and bought a car as a prank, but she was unprepared for the consequences. My sister Alexis is 18 and just graduated high school. For the past 2 years, she's been working doubles at Target, pulling 50-hour weeks between school and work. Every paycheck went into saving for one thing: a used Honda Civic she found on Facebook Marketplace. She had $8,000 saved, all cash. She kept it in a lockbox under her bed because she didn't trust our stepmom. Alexis showed me that lockbox every few months, counting the bills with this huge smile. She was so proud. Our stepmom knew about the money. Alexis told her at dinner one night, excited about being halfway to her goal. I saw the look on stepmom's face. It wasn't pride. It was something else. For context, stepmom married our dad when I was 10, and Alexis was 7. Their relationship has always been terrible. Stepmom plays favorites hard, and Alexis isn't one of them. Last month, Alexis turned 18. She'd been watching this 2015 Honda Civic for weeks, negotiating the price down to $7,500. She showed our stepmom and dad the listing at dinner, asking if they'd chip in the remaining $2,000 since she'd worked so hard. Dad said yes. Stepmom smiled and agreed, saying how mature Alexis was. I should have known something was off. Stepmom never compliments Alexis. The night before Alexis was supposed to meet the seller, I heard her screaming from her room. I ran in and found her on the floor, surrounded by boxes and clothes. Her lockbox was gone. She was panicking, tearing through everything. I know I put it under my bed, she kept saying, voice cracking. We searched for hours. Stepmom came in acting concerned, helping us look, saying, "Are you sure you didn't move it?" Real sympathetic, real fake. We never found it. Alexis was devastated. She called the seller and said she needed more time. 2 years of work, just gone. 2 days later, I heard a car horn outside. I looked out the window and saw stepmom pulling into the driveway in a brand new silver Lexus. Not used, brand new, still had dealership plates. I went outside and found Alexis already standing there, staring at the car with a blank expression. Stepmom got out, keys in hand, grinning ear to ear. Surprise! I finally got myself a new car. Isn't she beautiful? Alexis's voice was quiet. Where'd you get the money for a down payment? Stepmom laughed. Actually laughed. Well, I borrowed yours, obviously. It's technically the family's money anyway, since you live under our roof. Plus, you can always save up again. You're young. Alexis didn't react. She just stood there staring with this eerily calm expression. Say that again, Alexis said. Stepmom rolled her eyes. Oh, don't be so dramatic. No, say the part about it being the family's money. Say it again. That's when I noticed Alexis had her phone out, recording. Stepmom, still smiling, shrugged. It's the family's money. You live here for free, so technically anything you earn is ours to use. That's how it works, sweetheart. Alexis nodded slowly. Then, without breaking eye contact, she dialed 911. Stepmom's face dropped. What are you? Yes, hi, Alexis said into the phone, voice steady. I'd like to report a theft. My stepmother stole $8,000 from my room and used it to buy a car without my permission. I'm 18 years old and I have video evidence of her admitting it. Alexis rattled off our address. Stepmom's face went from smug to white in seconds. You're not seriously calling the cops on me? Alexis lowered the phone. I'm 1-8. That was my money. You stole $8,000 from a legal adult. That's grand theft. Our dad came outside asking what was going on. Alexis showed him the video. He tried to play it off, saying they'd pay her back. When? Alexis asked. After you make payments on her Lexus with my money? Dad didn't have an answer. The cop showed up 20 minutes later. Alexis showed them the video, her pay stubs proving she'd earned the money. Stepmom tried arguing it was a family matter, that Alexis was ungrateful. One officer cut her off. Ma'am, she's 18. This is theft. While the officer was questioning stepmom, my phone rang. It was my college bursar's office. I answered on speaker because I thought it was a spam call. The woman said my tuition payment for next semester had been reversed. My account was now overdue by $22,000. I told her there must be a mistake. My college fund should cover it. She said the account was drained yesterday by the account holder. I looked at Dad and stepmom. Dad's face went white as he pulled out his phone and opened his banking app, his hands shaking so badly he could barely type. I watched his face go from confused to horrified in like 3 seconds. What the hell? He whispered, scrolling frantically. The color just drained right out of him. He looked at stepmom, then at the officer, then back at his phone like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. What? I asked. My heart was already racing from the bursar's call, but seeing Dad's reaction made it worse. The college fund, Dad said, his voice barely above a whisper. Both of them. They're empty. Alexis stepped closer. What do you mean empty? Dad showed her the phone, and I saw her jaw tighten. That's $46,000, she said flatly. Where did it go? Stepmom shifted her weight, arms crossed. I don't know what you're talking about. The officer, who'd been taking notes, looked up. Sir, do you have access to your account statements? Dad was already pulling them up, swiping through screens with shaky fingers. There was a wire transfer yesterday. $46,000. He looked at stepmom. Did you do this? Don't be ridiculous, stepmom snapped. Why would I? Because you just admitted on video to stealing my money. Alexis cut her off, voice rising. Because you just bought a brand new Lexus. I felt sick. That was my tuition. That was Alexis's future. Dad kept scrolling, his face getting redder. There's another withdrawal here from 2 weeks ago. $15,000. And here, $12,000 from last month. What the hell is this? The officer stepped forward. Ma'am, I'm going to need to ask you some questions. Stepmom's face went from defensive to panicked real quick. I didn't steal anything. That money is marital property. I have every right to. Those were education accounts. Dad interrupted, his voice shaking. In the kids' names. You can't just take that. Oh, please, stepmom scoffed. You're acting like I robbed a bank. It's our money. No, the officer said, voice firm. If these accounts were set up as custodial accounts for the children and you withdrew funds without the account holder's authorization, that's theft. And if you forged signatures, that's fraud. Dad's hands were trembling as he pulled up more statements. The signature on the withdrawal form. That's not mine. I watched stepmom's face change. The smugness disappeared, replaced with something closer to fear. She tried to laugh it off. That's ridiculous. You probably just forgot. I didn't forget signing away my kid's entire college fund, Dad shouted. And honestly, I'd never heard him yell at her like that. Show me the paperwork, right now. Stepmom pressed her lips together, looking between Dad and the officer. I don't have to explain myself to you in front of, ma'am, the officer interrupted. I'm going to need you to come down to the station and answer some questions. This is now a potential fraud investigation. This is insane, stepmom said, but her voice cracked. You're really going to let them do this to me? Dad just stared at her. Did you take the money? Silence. Did you forge my signature? More silence. Then, quietly, stepmom said, I needed it for the down payment and some other things. I was going to pay it back. Other things? I asked. What other things? Stepmom didn't answer. The officer was writing everything down. Alexis had her phone out again, recording. I could see her hand shaking. Dad looked like someone had punched him in the gut. How much of the Lexus did you put down? 30,000? Stepmom muttered. 30! Dad's voice cracked. Where's the rest? Stepmom didn't answer, just looked at the ground. The officer closed his notebook. Ma'am, you're not under arrest right now, but I strongly suggest you come with me to the station. We need to document this formally. He looked at Dad. Sir, I recommend you contact your bank immediately and file a fraud report. You'll also want to gather any documentation showing you didn't authorize these transactions. Dad nodded, still looking shell-shocked. Alexis grabbed my arm. This is insane, she whispered. Stepmom started walking toward her new Lexus, but Alexis stepped in front of her. Where do you think you're going? 1. To get my purse, stepmom said through clenched teeth. In the car you bought with stolen money? Alexis's voice was cold. I don't think so. Stepmom tried to push past her, but Alexis didn't budge. You stole $8,000 from me. You stole $46,000 from our college funds. That car was bought with our money. Hand over the keys. Absolutely not, stepmom said, but she was looking at the officer now, uncertain. The officer cleared his throat. Ma'am, technically the vehicle was purchased with funds obtained through potential theft. It could be considered proceeds of crime. Alexis held out her hand. Keys, now. For a second, I thought stepmom might actually fight her, but then she saw Dad's face, the way he was looking at her, like he didn't even know who she was. She threw the keys at Alexis's feet. Fine, take it, take everything. You're just like your mother. That made Dad flinch, but he didn't defend her, just stood there, looking down at his phone like all the answers were hidden in the bank app. Alexis picked up the keys, and I swear I saw her hands shaking. Officer, I'm taking this car to the dealership. This was purchased with my stolen money and I want it reversed. The officer nodded. That's your right. I'd document everything though. Take pictures, keep receipts. Stepmom got into the cop car without another word. I stood there in the driveway with Dad, watching them pull away. The new Lexus sat there gleaming in the afternoon sun, and it made me sick to look at it. Get in, Alexis said to me. We're going to the dealership right now. I looked at Dad. He was just staring at his phone, scrolling through bank statements like he was in a trance. Dad, go, he said quietly. I need to call the bank. Alexis was already in the driver's seat, so I got in the passenger side. The car still had that new car smell. Leather seats, touchscreen display, the works. It probably cost $50,000 or more, and stepmom had put down 30 grand of stolen money. The drive to the dealership was silent at first. Then Alexis said, I worked 2 years for that money. I know, 50-hour weeks. I missed school dances, parties, everything. I just wanted a car. Her voice cracked. I just wanted one thing that was mine. I didn't know what to say. My own college fund was gone too. I'd have to take out loans now, go into debt, but at least I hadn't spent 2 years saving every penny like Alexis had. When we pulled into the dealership, the salesman who came out looked way too happy to see us. Folks, you just bought this beauty yesterday, right? How are you liking it? We need to return it, Alexis said flatly. His smile faltered. Oh, is there a problem with the vehicle? Alexis pulled out her phone and showed him the police report she'd already pulled up. This car was purchased with stolen money. I'm the victim. I need the sale reversed immediately. The salesman's eyes went wide as he read the report. Oh wow. Let me get my manager. We stood there in the showroom for what felt like forever while they made phone calls and looked at paperwork. Finally, the manager came out, a tall guy in a suit who looked stressed. Okay, so here's the situation. We can reverse the sale, but the down payment has already been processed. It's going to take several weeks to get that refunded. Several weeks? Alexis repeated. That's my money. I need it now. I understand, and I'm very sorry about this situation, but the payment was processed through our finance company. They have to issue the refund. It's policy. Alexis looked like she wanted to scream. How much was the down payment? The manager checked the paperwork. 30,000. She told Dad it was 30, I said. At least that part was true. But Alexis was shaking her head. No, the Lexus she bought starts at $45,000. If she put down 30, that means she financed 15. But Dad said $46,000 is missing from the college funds. She looked at me. Where's the other $16,000? I felt my stomach drop. She said she needed it for other things. The manager cleared his throat. Actually, according to our records, the down payment was only $22,000. The remaining balance was financed through our lender. Alexis and I looked at each other. She told Dad 30. I said slowly. She lied, Alexis said. She put down 22, not 30, which means she kept $8,000 cash for herself. The manager looked uncomfortable. I really can't speak to what happened with the funds, but I can process this return. You'll get the $22,000 back within 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks, Alexis repeated flatly. Fine, do it. We signed the paperwork and handed back the keys. On the drive home in my car, Alexis was quiet. Then she said, so she stole $8,000 from me, $46,000 from the college funds, and lied about how much she put down on the car. That's at least $8,000 unaccounted for, probably more. When we got home, Dad was sitting at the kitchen table with papers spread everywhere. Bank statements, old bills, receipts. He looked up when we walked in, and I could tell he'd been crying. I've been going through everything, he said. She's been stealing from me for months. Maybe longer. Alexis sat down across from him. What did you find? Dad pushed a stack of receipts toward us. I thought we were spending a lot on household expenses, but look at these. Designer handbags, jewelry, spa treatments. She told me these were groceries, utilities, stuff for the house. He laughed bitterly. I trusted her with the finances. I didn't even check. I picked up one receipt, a purse from some designer brand I couldn't even pronounce. $3,500. Where did you find these? Her closet, Dad said. I went through everything. She's been hiding shopping bags in the back, behind her winter coats. There's at least $15,000 worth of stuff in there, maybe more. Alexis stood up. Show me. We all went upstairs to Dad and stepmom's bedroom. Dad opened the closet, and holy shit. The back half was packed with shopping bags from high-end stores. Alexis started pulling them out, checking receipts, purses, shoes, jewelry, clothes with tags still on them. She's sick, I said. She's a thief, Alexis corrected. She was laying everything out on the bed, organizing receipts by date. Dad, do you have any idea how much she's actually spent? Dad shook his head. I've been trying to add it up, but I keep finding more. The bank statements show weird charges going back at least 6 months. Sometimes 1,000 here, 2,000 there. I always thought it was for house stuff. Alexis took pictures of everything. Every receipt, every price tag, every shopping bag. We're documenting all of this, she said. If she tries to claim any of this was legitimate, we have proof. Dad sat on the edge of the bed, looking at the pile of designer goods like he couldn't process it. How did I not see this? Because you trusted her, I said quietly. He laughed, but there was no humor in it. Yeah, I did. That night, Alexis barely slept. I could hear her in her room, typing on her laptop, organizing files. The next morning at breakfast, she had her laptop out and a notebook full of notes. Okay, she said. Here's what we know. Stepmom stole $8,000 cash from me. She drained $46,000 from the college funds. She put down $22,000 on the Lexus, which leaves $24,000 unaccounted for from the college funds alone, plus whatever she's been stealing from Dad's account over the past months. Based on the receipts we found, that's at least another $15,000. Dad poured himself coffee, looking exhausted. The bank is investigating the forged signatures. They said it could take weeks. We're not waiting weeks, Alexis said. We're making her pay now. How? I asked. Alexis smiled, and it wasn't a nice smile. We're having a family meeting, and we're inviting everyone. That's how we ended up in the living room 2 days later with Dad's parents and stepmom's sister sitting on the couch, looking confused. Alexis had set up a literal crime board on the wall. Photos of receipts, bank statements, a timeline of the thefts. It looked like something out of a detective show. Thank you all for coming, Alexis said, standing in front of the board like she was giving a presentation. I know this is unusual, but I wanted you to see what's been happening in this house. Dad's mom, Grandma Joyce, leaned forward. Sweetheart, what's going on? Alexis pressed play on her laptop, and the video started. Stepmom's voice filled the room. It's the family's money. You live here for free, so technically anything you earn is ours to use. Grandma Joyce's hand flew to her mouth. Dad's father, Grandpa Bill, sat up straighter. Stepmom's sister, Diane, looked confused. Then Alexis walked them through everything. The stolen $8,000, the forged signatures on the college funds, the designer purchases. She showed them every receipt, every bank statement, every piece of evidence we'd gathered. When she finished, the room was silent. Then, Grandma Joyce said, "Where is she?" "Still at her boyfriend's apartment," Dad said quietly. "She moved out after the police questioned her." "Boyfriend?" Grandpa Bill repeated, his voice dangerously low. Alexis nodded and pulled up her laptop again. Found these on her iPad. Text messages going back 6 months. The messages were damning. Stepmom and some guy named Brad, talking about meeting up, sending photos, making plans. "Can't wait to see you Friday. The Lexus is almost mine. Just need to get the cash first." Diane stood up abruptly. "I need to talk to my sister." "Wait," Alexis said. "There's something else you should know. About your mom." Diane's face went pale. "What about my mom? 2 years ago, stepmom borrowed money from your mother, right? About $20,000, supposedly for medical bills?" Diane nodded slowly. "Mom never got it back. She stopped talking to us about it. Because it wasn't for medical bills," Alexis said. She pulled up more bank statements. "The dates match. She deposited your mom's money and spent it on a trip to Europe with Brad." Diane sat back down, looking like she might be sick. "She told Mom she had cancer. She lied," Alexis said flatly, "just like she's been lying to all of us." Grandpa Bill stood up. "Where's your father?" "Here," Dad said from the doorway. He'd been listening the whole time. "You're filing for divorce. Grandpa Bill said. It wasn't a question. And if you don't, we're cutting you out of the will. I won't have my grandchildren's futures destroyed by that woman. Grandma Joyce nodded. We'll help with the lawyer fees. Whatever you need. Diane was crying now. I can't believe she did this to Mom. After everything Mom did for her, she's done it to everyone, Alexis said quietly. That's who she is. That night, Dad called a locksmith. By morning, every lock in the house was changed. When stepmom showed up around noon, screaming from the driveway, Dad just watched from the window. Open the fucking door, she yelled. This is my house too. Dad opened the window. Not anymore. Your stuff is in the garage. You have until tomorrow to pick it up. Then it's going to Goodwill. You can't do this. I'll get half of everything in the divorce. Good luck with that, Dad called back and closed the window. Alexis was filming from her bedroom window, getting every second. This is gold, she muttered. But we weren't done. I'd been going through Dad's paperwork when I found something that made my blood run cold. Credit card statements in Dad's name. Cards I'd never seen before. 3 of them, all maxed out. Dad, I called from the office. You need to see this. He came in, and I showed him the statements. These are in your name. Do you recognize them? Dad went pale. I never applied for these. Look at the signatures, I said, pointing to the application copies attached to the statements. The signature was close, but not quite right. Dad's real signature had a specific flourish on the R that these didn't have. She forged credit card applications, Dad said slowly. How much? I added it up. 60,000, all maxed out. Dad sat down heavily. She destroyed my credit. We're reporting this, I said, already pulling up the fraud hotline number. This is identity theft. The credit card companies were surprisingly helpful once we explained the situation. They flagged the accounts as fraud and started their investigations. But the damage to Dad's credit score was already done. That night, Dad was going through old emails when he found something. I can't believe I didn't see this before, he muttered. What? Alexis asked. He turned the laptop toward us. Emails between stepmom and Brad, dating back 8 months. But it wasn't the affair that shocked us. It was the subject line of one email, divorce strategy. Alexis leaned over and read aloud. If we wait until after I get the college funds, I can hide the cash and claim he spent it. Then I file for divorce and get half of everything he has left. It's perfect. She's been planning this, I said, feeling sick. This whole thing was a setup. Dad's hands were shaking. She married me for money. She married you to steal from you, Alexis corrected. But she fucked up. She got greedy and took the money too soon. The next day, Dad's lawyer filed for an at-fault divorce based on the fraud. In our state, that meant stepmom wouldn't get anything. But she didn't know that yet. The day after that, stepmom's boyfriend Brad showed up at our door. Alexis answered it. Is she here? He asked, looking stressed. Who? Your stepmom. She hasn't answered her phone in 2 days. Alexis crossed her arms. Why do you care? Because I just found out she's married, Brad said, his voice rising. She told me she was divorced. I had no idea. Oh, really? Alexis pulled out her phone and showed him the police report. Did you also have no idea she's under investigation for grand theft and fraud? Brad's face went white as he read. What the hell? Yeah, Alexis said. So maybe you should think carefully about staying involved with her. Because if you helped her hide any money, you're an accomplice. I didn't know, Brad said quickly. I swear I didn't know. She told me her ex was abusive and she needed money to escape, she said. He trailed off, looking sick. She said what? I asked, coming to stand next to Alexis. She said she had $30,000 saved up from her divorce settlement. She wanted to rent a storage unit to keep her stuff safe until she could get her own place. He ran his hand through his hair. Oh my God, that wasn't her money, was it? No, Alexis said. It wasn't. Where's the storage unit? Brad gave us the address without hesitation. I think he was terrified of becoming an accessory to a crime. She has the key, he said. I don't know what's in there. She wouldn't let me see. After he left, Alexis looked at me. We're going tonight. Dad should come, I said. No, Alexis said firmly. If we take Dad, it's a family thing. If it's just us, we're 2 kids who found out where their stepmom is hiding stolen property. There's a difference. I understood what she meant. Plausible deniability. That night at midnight, we drove to the storage facility on the edge of town. It was one of those sketchy places with bad lighting and a chain link fence. The gate was easy to climb. This is breaking and entering, I whispered as we walked between units. She stole from us first, Alexis said. Besides, we're just looking. If we find anything, we call the police. We found Unit 247. The lock was standard, nothing fancy. Alexis pulled out a set of bolt cutters from her backpack. Where did you get those? I hissed. Target, employee discount. She cut through the lock in one smooth motion, and the door swung open. I pulled out my phone and turned on the flashlight. The storage unit was packed. Designer purses, still in their boxes, shopping bags from high-end stores, suitcases, and in the back, a duffel bag. Alexis opened the duffel bag and we both froze. Cash. Stacks and stacks of cash, bundled with rubber bands. Holy shit, I whispered. Alexis started counting, her hands moving fast. 11,000, she said finally. She was hiding 11,000 in cash, plus all the designer stuff, which had to be worth at least another 15,000, maybe more. We're taking it, Alexis said. What? She stole from us. This is our money. We're taking it back. Alexis started loading the cash into her backpack. Grab those purses. I hesitated for exactly 2 seconds before I started grabbing shopping bags. We cleared out the entire unit in less than 10 minutes, loading everything into my car. Then Alexis pulled out her phone and took photos of the empty unit. Evidence, she said, in case she tries to report it stolen. We left the cut lock on the ground, and drove home in silence. When we got there, Dad was still awake, sitting at the kitchen table. "Where have you been?" he started, then saw what we were carrying. "What is that?" Alexis dumped the duffel bag on the table. Cash spilled everywhere. Stepmom's secret stash. We found her storage unit. This was inside, along with about $15,000 worth of designer goods. Dad stared at the money. "You broke into a storage unit. Technically, we found the lock already broken," I said. "We were just investigating suspicious activity." Dad should have been angry. Should have told us we couldn't keep stolen money. Instead, he started laughing. Actually laughing. This slightly unhinged sound that made Alexis and me exchange worried looks. "She's been stealing from me for months," he said, wiping tears from his eyes. "She forged my signature, destroyed my credit, tried to take everything, and you two just," he gestured at the money, "you just took it back." "We took back what's ours," Alexis corrected. She pushed the money toward Dad. "This probably won't cover everything she stole, but it's a start." The next morning, Stepmom showed up screaming about her storage unit. Dad opened the door with the chain still on. "I don't know what you're talking about. Someone broke into my storage unit and took everything. I know it was you." "Prove it," Dad said calmly. "Prove it was your storage unit. Prove that what was inside belonged to you. Go ahead, call the police." Stepmom's face went from angry to panicked in a second, because she couldn't call the police. She couldn't report stolen property when that property was bought with stolen money. "You're a bastard," she hissed. "And you're a thief," Dad replied. "Now get off my property before I call the police for real. You're trespassing." She left, but not before screaming that she'd get her revenge, that we'd all regret this. 2 days later, the divorce papers were served. Stepmom tried to fight it at first, demanding her share of the marital assets, but Dad's lawyer presented all the evidence: the forged signatures, the stolen money, the credit card fraud, the affair. In exchange for Dad not pressing charges for the forged credit cards, Stepmom agreed to sign over her rights to any marital assets. She walked away with nothing. No house, no money, no Lexus, nothing. Her reputation in town was destroyed. Dad's parents made sure everyone knew what she'd done. Stepmom's own sister stopped talking to her after she found out about the money stolen from their mother.